The noise outside Parliament hit harder than any speech. "Traitor!" they screamed. A word once reserved for enemies of the crown. Keir Starmer didn't stop. He didn't look back. In the last 6 months, 52,000 migrants have crossed the Channel. 149,000 elderly Britons, many in their 90s, waited over 12 hours for hospital care. And the veterans who built this country now live on less than £800 a month. That same morning, Prince William was with them. No cameras, no slogans. One man chased power. The other carried duty. The people aren't protesting, they're collecting debt. Across Britain's fading towns, shutters fall like verdicts. A veterans pub in Manchester closed when its power bill hit £1,200 a month. The men inside once fought for this flag. Now they fight to keep the lights on. Inside NHS England, 7.4 million people wait for treatment. 191,000 have waited over a year. Only 61% begin care within the target. The rest wait on stretchers in corridors that smell of bleach and despair. Meanwhile, Downing Street signs another contract, £3 billion this year for migrant hotels. At every junction, the same betrayal repeats. Money for strangers, silence for patriots. When reporters asked the Prince about it, he didn't answer. He looked away, not in dismissal, but disbelief. And somewhere between that silence, the shouts outside Parliament, a truth that became impossible to ignore. The silence after William's words didn't heal, it tore deeper. Within hours, new figures hit the headlines. The government had cut £2.3 billion from NHS budgets since spring, while spending £3 billion a year on migrant hotels. In veteran care, the crisis was surgical. 27,000 ex-service members still waiting for mental health support, only 1 in 4 getting treatment on time. Pensioners weren't doing better, inflation chewed through the state pension's value, and 43% admitted skipping meals or heat last winter. A report from the Office for Veterans Affairs revealed suicides among ex-military personnel up 18% since 2020, but Downing Street didn't mention it once. Britain snapped this week. Not with riots, but with recognition. At dawn, Prince William visited a burned-down housing block in Sheffield. He didn't speak to the cameras. He picked up a child's melted toy from the ashes, looked at it for a moment and walked on. The image spread within hours. Quiet, stark, devastating. Meanwhile, in London, Starmer faced another wave of outrage. A leaked audit showing £15 million in consultancy fees for migrant accommodation contracts. Nurses called it blood money. Veterans called it theft. By afternoon, protesters were outside Downing Street again. One man shouted, "We fought your wars, now fight for us." William's car passed nearby, a single nod to the crowd. No words. That was all it took. The next morning, the Telegraph ran the headline, "The Prince Who Listens." And somewhere in the distance, Britain began to remember what decency once sounded like. By Friday morning, the noise had spread beyond Westminster. It wasn't a protest anymore, it was a reckoning. From Leeds to Portsmouth, from Cardiff to Manchester, the same chant echoed, "Serve your own first." In central London, police counted over 240,000 people. Outside St Thomas's Hospital, nurses and veterans stood shoulder to shoulder, holding a sign that read 800 for those who served, 170 a night for migrants. By noon, Westminster Bridge became a moving river of flags and grief. A former Royal Marine, Peter Lawson, told reporters, "We fought your wars, now we're fighting your bills." Police drones mapped the crowd stretching 3 miles down Whitehall. From the rooftops, Parliament looked surrounded, not by violence, but by conscience. Helicopters cut across the smoke as church bells rang from Lambeth to Southwark. Through the haze, one camera caught it. Prince William's convoy slowing near the square. He didn't wave, he didn't speak, but the moment his car passed, the chant softened. As if the country itself remembered what honour once felt like. By sunset, 60 million had watched the footage online. And for the first time in years, Britain's outrage carried something deeper than anger. It carried recognition. While Starmer spoke of balanced priorities, taxpayers watched billions vanish into what the press now calls the government of forgotten Britons. The betrayal wasn't abstract anymore. It was audited, documented, televised. Britain wasn't just angry, it was humiliated, and the question now echoed from every pub to every ward. How much more will the nation